get ready with me to go out. I am about to go see a pageant sister of mine and have a nice little bite. I'm in Boston still, and this is where she's based. So I already did my skin with this foaming cleanser, these products that I just got from Marshall's. So this rice foam water foaming cleanser, these toner pads. I've been wanting to try toner pads because I saw some that I wanted to try on my TikTok shop basket, and I have this moisturizer. In Boston, I'm here for a conference, and you'd be surprised sometimes how difficult it can be to get up and do stuff that you need done, but once you do it, it's just like you feel relief, you feel calm, you feel relaxed. That's how I've been feeling this entire week that I've been here. Well, it's almost a week. I leave on the 19th, and it just feels good to be away from Atlanta. I really feel like I want to move. On the topic of trusting yourself, I feel like a lot of women are not given the tools. I mean, people in general, but especially women, because there's this survey that is called the confidence gap, and I was randomly searching something and this had came up. The confidence gap really is the difference in confidence that men and women have when going after certain things. And this specific survey was showing me that in regards to job opportunities, women wait till they are completely credible, until they have maybe even triple the accolades and credentials before they give themselves a shot in applying for a role that they may be interested in. If they don't have all that's listed or feel like they don't meet the requirement, they may not most likely apply. But versus men, I've noticed that men have audacity, especially these men. And we all see that, especially in dating, or men's expectations of even you as a woman, versus maybe they don't even do the things they're expecting you to do, but they will be audacious in getting exactly what they said they want. We're in a patriarchal society. I believe there are a lot of women who just don't know how to be their own advocate, be their own friend, and trust themselves. And I think this really starts in the development process as little girls. A lot of girls grow up in households that are more in tune with making sure they're domesticated, making sure they are taking the steps to be a fit wife or fit for someone else, but not necessarily they are fit for themselves first. And I think this is why you find a lot of people who are experiencing arrested development, who are able to go beyond a point in life of trauma, and they get stuck and stagnant, and then they're prone to be bitter. And I actually even see this in just certain people that when I was a kid, or even family members, I'm like, whoa, like I don't want to be like this. And even now as a younger adult, I'm like, I have to make sure I don't be like this, because life will try to make you bitter. Life will try to suck the life out of you so that you become some servant. But I just want you to know that you need to be your priority. I made a video, one of my last talking videos was like, you need to be your biggest advocate, because I just came out of a very bad situation, something that was new to me, experiencing bias, experiencing incompetence in people that were my leaders. And I realize an analytical, structured person. That bothers me, that a person can they can make their way to the top, running around without being competent, without being knowledgeable, and without having effective leadership skills. And I experienced a leader like that, amongst other things, that attempted to stifle me and take me out. And it made me look at my life like I wasn't necessarily given tools to succeed. There were certain things that, you do what you gotta do, but, you look at your life as you get older, you're like, oh, like, I wasn't properly planned for. There's some families who, you see, you can tell, they set the children up They made sure they had trust. They made sure they had the funds together. They should make sure spiritually, mentally, physically, environmentally, they made sure these things are together. And you look up at yourself and you realize, like, oh, now I have to do the work that, unfortunately someone else did not do. Looking at my life after these experiences, they kind of intensified and just made me, like, want to disappear. But I'm realizing that I'm my biggest friend. I don't have to, and you don't have to, not, like, you should be your biggest priority. And in the household, women should be taught that with themselves, with the things that they enjoy, hobbies. But when I look at my life and I look at women that I've even been in community with, I'm like, they don't have hobbies. They go to work and they go to church. And then when they're at church, they're on different teams, giving their all, and their life is devoted to this cause. But the first cause that you should be devoted to is yourself. I've had family members say, "You think this world revolves around you? You think people supposed to do da 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 da." This world does revolve around me because this is my world. My world should revolve around me. If the Bible says in Genesis that He created mankind to have dominion and subdue the earth, like, why are people not doing it? And why are people who are stagnant in arrested development, oftentimes people who we could be related to, why are they content in making sure that you're bitter just because they are? Believing in ourselves can look like so many different things in small ways. Believing in yourself could be, it could be booking that flight to go on a rest, going to that conference that you feel nervous about. Me. Believing in yourself could look like applying for that job. Believing in yourself could look like being consistent at a new hobby where you feel like you look foolish doing. Believing in yourself can be just simply purchasing something or going through a conflict where there are so many other perceptions, but you stand 10 toes down on about who you are and what you believe, that nothing can shake you and nothing is impossible. And you, even if you were wrong, you still stand by yourself. You still stand with yourself. Granted, there could be times where you still stand with yourself and you're like, okay, well, I see how this could be better, but you don't abandon yourself. A lot of y'all are abandoning yourselves. And we tend to repeat cycles that are often handed down to us and that we practice and we don't even recognize it. People, especially women, are just taught to abandon themselves. Okay, you went to college, you doing all things that you love, and now you got married to some man who unfortunately may not be giving what you give him, and you give all that up just for him to support his dream. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe that relationships are give and take. But, like, oftentimes I see some relationships with people who don't believe in themselves. They're the ones giving, and the other person is just taking. Like, no, we need healthy connections with healthy spaces, but you have to facilitate for that yourself before you expect someone else to do that for you. Like, you don't need a whole bunch of perceptions and interpretations about a situation. You don't need to bounce off ideas, get some new think piece just to see if you believe in yourself. You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need to go to 5 prophets, 5 people who can look at a globe and so they can tell you what your life should be. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I believe you should be the first prophet of your own life. Even if you don't even have spiritual insight in certain ways or develop certain spiritual practices, you should have so much belief in yourself that even if you don't know about something, or if you don't know if you'll achieve something, you have so much belief that it's going to happen anyway because you spoke it, because you have power in your tongue. In these Christian spaces I have been in and grown up in, I realized, like, when I look at some of my peers, I'm like, oh, like, you don't believe in yourself. And that started at home. Not diagnosing anything on anybody because I don't think that's appropriate. You can put 2 and 2 together with people, but, still be respectful of you never know, their standing. But look at how I see how women are so eager to be in certain spaces outside of their actual love for it, but they are in certain spaces because it's just like, oh, like your parents spoke to you bad, your parents spoke down to you, they taught you to not trust yourself. And there's this type of manipulation with the word where I hear people talk like that. You not trust, lean on your own. Well, I feel like that has a perspective, but you don't lean on your own understanding. You lean on God's understanding. Granted, you don't go out here making weird, random decisions, but I just think it's weird that mainly I hear women told that. But like, I don't hear that told. Certain things I realize I heard a lot growing up. The people who are successful, I don't hear them saying those same things in that way. And if we're gonna be real, like, I don't see certain demographics doing that. And guess what? They may be spreading it, but they're not doing it. They don't. Like, I had a family member. I had went to college and got out of my hometown for the first time, and it was really great for me. College was really amazing because it allowed me to dive a bit deeper in me. And that wasn't really something that was allowed growing up. I hope I don't look bad. It better look right. So now I just change my color out here with a muddy face, but my dress comes up to my neck, so oh my God. But I wasn't taught to trust myself, and I wasn't really given the liberty to do certain things. It was always kind of like I was very timid, I was very scary, and that was something that was intentional for me to be, because honestly, the people around me, the adults, were that way, and I guess that's the only way they thought that would make a person stay in line. But and that goes into some other topics that I have. Because oftentimes when people feel like they don't have real control or authority, they'll try everything that they can, one, to scare you so you won't like see their weakness, and then two, oftentimes a lot of things are just passed down. So it was like, okay, well, this is the way they did it, I'm gonna do it. But I didn't have much ability to do certain things that I wanted. There was a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to be in Beta Club. I wanted to be in FBLA. Like, I really wanted to be in these, but I'm like, okay, I don't want to, ruffle any feathers. I was already in band, so I didn't want to do too much. But once I got to college, I was like, I can spread my wings. I was in a pageant. I did undergraduate research. And that was from a project and that project really opened my eyes to things that I can do. After hearing people say so much about like, you can't do this, or shut up, or be quiet, or stay in a child's place, and really just giving me that impression that I was insignificant. I operated that way growing up, and so going to college and doing that project for the first time with a mentor, a professor who became a really good mentor for me, and I really appreciate her because she was just diligent and I realize now how much of an impact that is to me. Her hand in my academic and career, my college career. Y'all, I wear this dress in my snow boots. I've been wearing these snow boots everywhere because this wind, I know y'all hear it. It's crazy. The college opened up doors for me. Like, it made me see life at a different lens. It made me really go after stuff and not add an intention to go after it, but it just gave me a platform to dig into myself. Although I did experience like different types of depression and I'm not diagnosed, but I experienced certain things that I didn't know how to handle, because you come out in an environment with traumatic events, going into a new environment, you don't have a support system for real. You're trying to create a new support system with these new people, but then you're also lacking some areas of development and social skills. So it's just kind of like, well, where do I fit? And I had a great time in college. I made some friends. But those things, sometimes our own lack can get in our own way or sight of our own growth. But that was where I really learned like, I can do it. I can trust myself. I can trust my gifts. I've never seen myself with so much grit with that project. The first year we did it in one class, and we got the third level. And then the next year I had a similar class with the same professor who was doing the same project. So it was micro and the macroeconomics. This is actually the very first video on my page if you want to check that out. So just scroll all the way to the bottom. But just having so much grit. After we did third place, I was just like, you're not gonna give us the winning title? Oh no, next year we're gonna come bigger and better. And some people who were on my team before, they were like, oh, we're gonna be in your team again. And when I say my team, I led it. I was like, hey, this is about to be good. We're about to get a real videographer. We're about to get a rapper on campus to use his studio equipment so it can be clear. Like, wasn't things that other people on campus in this class was thinking about. People was recording from their phones, editing on Movie Maker. I don't even know if they still have Movie Maker, but I said I want this to look like a music video for this time. And I did it. We won the first level. We were in first place, the local level, and then we won national level. We were on the school newspaper, on the website, and then that led into undergraduate research. And I remember, this is where I was going with this. I remember going to my hometown, and this specific family member was like, "Oh, look what she did!" Kind of, trying to take the accomplishment, because it's like, oh, she's attached to me, so she gets that from this side or that side, or because we're related. And it's like, no, like, I've never been around you where you've like stirred this gift up in me. Like, sure, I do believe that generational things can pass down, but like, don't take credit for something like you have no insight into. You just know the end result. You don't know what happened at the beginning, middle, or really the end. You don't know the conversations, the opportunities that I got through this. Honestly, you just know, like, I said, hey, this is what I did, and now everybody in the hometown, in our community, know about it. And I remember this person telling people, like, oh, look what she did, look what she did. And some people who kind of were used to me in a low state, they would just look at it like, oh, okay. But there was one person that came up to me like, oh, you did this. And I remember, like, I was like, yeah, and I was the leader. I was just so happy and so confident. And I remember after that family member came up to me, after I spoke to that person in the community, and they were like, don't you ever say that again. I'm like, say what? Don't you ever, that's pride. Don't ever say you led the team. Because I said I was team leader, which I was. You said you was the team leader. Don't say that. That's prideful. Say, like, they were trying to give me something else to say, and it just really dimmed my light and made me not trust my own self. So when I had another occurrence with somebody else, they were like, oh, what did you do? And I'm just like, oh, I don't, yeah, I was some kind of involved in it. Like, I had to dumb myself down. Women are so dumbed down. Black women are so dumbed down, and especially if you're those combinations in a religious setting, I believe you're going to be dumbed down. And so I remember the second person, they were like, oh, okay, like, oh, okay. And I was just so, like, downcast about it, because I'm like, I don't even know what to say. It's bad for me to claim it. It's bad for me to do this. I was really excited about this. People on campus was lit about it. Schools reaching out to me to talk to STEM programs in Mississippi. Only one school. Maybe there's other ones, but it was only one school. It was featured on a university in London, because they were trying to mimic the same project that my professor had started, because it was her thing. And I remember when that second person was like, oh, okay. Then that same family member pulled me aside and was just kind of like, don't you, if they ask you what this is, then you need to tell them. I'm like, can't win for nothing. And oftentimes women, of course people, but this is just for my women, your environments, some environments don't really prop you up, and so that's the source of where a lot of this self-doubt comes from. You internalize that and you replicate it in so many areas of life, to where you're not confident, you don't trust yourself. So when you go through conflict with other people, you feeling hurt, you feeling these emotions, but now, because you're used to the world being so against you or telling you to doubt yourself, you're doubting yourself, and now you're like, so what did you think about what Rosie said. Like, do you think Rosie was true? Disregarding if you do you think Rosie is true, or did Rosie just slander your name in the mud? You have to learn to trust yourself, and not just learn it, but you have to practice the habit. You have to practice the habit of trusting yourself. And even sometimes I can be like, asking a bunch of perspectives, but when I find myself about to ask a bunch of perspectives about something that I know, I stop myself from asking. You don't need Billy Ray Cyrus' opinion on if you should get McDonald's today. You know you craving McDonald's, but if you know you got some goals, you need to sit down with what you know and have discipline. And that's one thing that I noticed too. When you don't trust yourself, you oftentimes lack discipline also. Oh, that goes into something else. Don't trust yourself and you lack discipline, you are not accountable to yourself. You're not an accountable person. That oftentimes leads you to either you're asking different perspectives about a situation because you feel like you need that validation from people to tell you what's right and what's wrong, or you completely don't take accountability for things at all. And you're just like, I don't know. No, you're wrong. In defense mode, in bitter mode, and let me keep myself safe because you never had any safe environments. What time is it? I got my phone right in front of me. It's 4:33. I'm trying to sit at the bar. I need to oh, why I put down that mirror? Well, I should have bought like a brown pencil liner because I can't find mine. I had like 100,000 of them and I can't find them. I can't even find my lip pencils. And I can't find my chapstick. That's trifling. You have to trust yourself. When I went through the corporate thing I had alluded to in whatever last video, I don't even know. I feel like I made a video about it. Not specifically about it, but there's a video I think that includes it. Maybe the last video. Like, I was hurt. I still to this day, with the exception of one prime person, a family member, there's no family that I've told. This is something that I'm dealing with on my own. And that, of course, that's adulthood, but like, we gotta be real. We weren't meant to be doing all certain stuff alone. Yeah, I have people from a community I was in that I've expressed those things to. But as far as like blood related people, nobody knows certain things I've gone through recently in the last year or two. And it's really built a lot of resolve within me that it caused me to hide even more than what I already may have been doing. So I'm gonna put my lashes on. This is a really quick beat. I just got this SD card. I hope I don't use it all up. I'm gonna put that right there. And what are ways that you can trust yourself more? Having a conversation with yourself. Like, you really have to converse with yourself. We spend so much time talking to other people, bouncing ideas on things that we can just sit and have a conversation with ourselves about and get in quietness and stillness. And also, I want to say that trusting in God does not absolve you from trusting yourself. When I was making the reference earlier, when people like, lean not unto your own understanding. First of all, the Bible says his people perish for lack of knowledge. And just to see so many people walking around just proudly dumb, saying for the sake of God, God didn't want you to be dumb. What a freak. So many people, especially with that election, I'm like, okay. All right. You made this voting choice because of this one thing, but I feel like people are so performative. I know this is off topic, but people are so performative. There's so many people who voted for who they voted for, and not trying to get too deep into politics, but politics is life. It determines our well-being and our quality of life as people, so you have to make informed decisions and trust yourself in order to do so. But I realized it just seemed like a lot of people didn't make informed decisions no matter what side that they voted on. On one side, people voted for unaliving of babies or fetuses or whatever you want to call it. And they're like, oh yeah, Jesus was, his name was saved. Oh, but it's like, okay, since you really care about the babies, so when these babies come, my thought process is like, okay, are you going to be able to fund if this is an impoverished home at that, or there's something going on as far as miscarriages, and that being a part of the Affordable Care Act, or that being a part of what the abortion situation was about, not just you don't want it. And now if a woman has a miscarriage or experiencing certain complications and has to get rid of the dead fetus inside of her, then she can be prone to go to jail. What about that? What are you doing about that? Since you're so and these oftentimes, these people I see, like, yeah, they're not making any change in the world for real. They're not out here trying to make it better for everybody. You just doing something to be performative, but at the end of the day, like, are you going to be even pleased with your life? And I don't necessarily think it's right that if you listen to Prophet so-and-so, he told Prophet so-and-so telling you what you need to do, and you listening to them before you went and prayed. And they telling you who they did, and so, of course, they know that the masses going to do what they did because they said they did it. And so the masses going to be like, okay, well, I want to be right with God, so make informed decisions. I realized something about myself. I don't like when my lashes are too far out because it make my ass look weird. When it's right in the center, yeah, I be looking like a chica. I don't even know what I was supposed to mean by that, but I don't care what nobody say. Trust yourself. If yourself told you not to trust me in this video, turn it off. Life is a journey. It's meant to be learned from. And even if you did all the situating and making sure everything's right and it don't come out right, at least you learn. Making wise decisions. And then after you've done all the critical thinking, if you must so need to speak with a mentor, but no one should be coming before you. No conversation should be had before you had a conversation with yourself. None. Because that's ghetto. That will leave you unstable in life. That will leave you lost, unfulfilled, bitter, defenseless. People don't think. It's time to think about you. Because when you're taken care of, you can take care of everybody else. After that, once your cup is filled, then you'll know how to decipher if you have people in your life who are giving you what you need in that relationship. So you won't just take any and everything. I'm going to come back when my hair is done. I'm going to have my dress on because my battery dead anyway. But it's better die. It's better die. It's better die. Just allow me to enjoy myself. This is the hair. Oh, I like how this is doing whatever that is. I did like a side part. Let me try to, and these are quick curls, so I hope it stays. I put some of this like Sebastian stuff. Oh, that's liquor. I got an idea. Well, let's put this on the curls because all the girls who lay hair, they were doing it. But let me get this melting spritz. Okay. The craziest thing I did was do my hair without my clothes up under the robe. Yeah, I need to yeah. And then try to put this tight neck on top. Now you're trying to give me crunchy curls. I like it simple. In person, it don't look that bad. Well, on this mirror, at least. That's what I'm seeing. Please stop doing it. Oh my God. And it's like this dress. It's very cute and professional. I'm gonna have my snow boots, so it's like at this bar to try to cut, but I might look like a hard wig a little bit with that line, but what they make? Soft lives. Look at this. I think I'm gonna actually put it together and roll it up like this. That's actually what I'm gonna do for real. Cause the way this wind is going, I don't wanna be hair tossed to and fro. And by the time I wanna look polished. Yeah. Put 2 on each side. But you have to trust yourself, especially in this next phase of life. You don't want to look up and be like, dang, like, what did I do? I wasted my time listening to everybody else. There's so many women I've heard. Like, oh, I married this person I knew I shouldn't have. I did it because my family wanted me to do it. Like, you got to realize at this point that people just be wanting baby showers to go to. People just be wanting to say they went to a wedding. They don't really care about the quality of your life. That's your job, to care about the quality of your life. I can't believe I'm going out. I get so nervous. Trust yourself. Don't let these people tell you not to. My ride is 4 minutes away. It's up to you to get the quality of life you're going to get. God not going to come out the sky and give it to you for you. And I think a lot of people think that. Go live your life. Live it great and grand. I'm about to look cute and sit at the bar and be social. Oh, look at. Love y'all. Bye.